One day a serpent said to Eve, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit of any of the trees?" This serpent was acting in a strange way, unlike other creatures of its kind, questioning in a human tone its ruler and its creator. "Of course we may eat fruit," she said, "from the trees within the garden. It's only the fruit from one special tree in the midst of the garden that we may not eat." "God said we must not eat or touch it, for if we do, we will surely die," Eve said, misinterpreting the command which Adam had told to her. "You won't die," the serpent lied. "God knows that your eyes will be opened. As soon as you eat it, you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." He teased her with cunning deception, tempting her to question, for they had never experienced death or evil, only God's goodness. So who was telling the truth about this evil and dying, God or this strange creature? Doubt now teased her mind. But God so loved them. Why would he kill them? It's only a piece of fruit. Would God really do what he had said? Kill them for eating mere fruit? The sentence of death seemed extravagant and unreasonable to Eve. It didn't seem to match the crime. Maybe God had made a mistake. And how come this creature knew about this and Eve did not know a thing? Well, she and Adam were superior beings. God made them rulers over all things. Hadn't God made her in his image? So why didn't she know both good and evil? This creature questioned what God had said. Then surely Eve could do the same. If she had been made in God's image, why wasn't she like God already, knowing both good and evil? Had God kept something from her? Eve looked thoughtfully at the tree. She saw that it was good for food. She knew it would satisfy her growing appetite. Hadn't God made every tree in the garden good for food? Hadn't God said that everything he had made was very good? The tree was pleasant to look at. The sight of it stirred in her a sense of pleasure and excitement, a delicious, tempting allure. And yet it was forbidden by God, the punishment severe. Thoughts of dread and desire tossed about in her mind. Her thoughts were now a strong desire to gain the wisdom and knowledge the creature said she would get if she ate the forbidden fruit. She wanted more knowledge than God had given, more wisdom than God had imparted. Surely there was no harm in her gaining more knowledge, was there? Wouldn't it be a clever move on her behalf to improve? Wouldn't it be an advantage to the overall scheme of things? If the serpent said came true, she would become like God. As soon as she ate the fruit, she wouldn't have to wait. She wanted to experience what it was like to be like God. God made decisions on his own. She wanted to do the same. Eve's desire grew into a craving, and this craving became a void that desperately needed to be filled, her focus now magnetized. What would it feel like? What would it look like? What would life be like when she was like God? To gain the knowledge, to know both good and evil, she would have to eat the forbidden fruit. Could she live with the consequence? Well, that depended on who was telling the truth, the creature or the Creator. If she succumbed to the temptation and dared to disobey, she would either become like God or she would surely die. So far, life had been very good. The rewards of obedience had been abundant life for them, a life with purpose, love and peace. But would life be better If she were like God, did she have to obey him just because he said so? To be like God? Well, this was proving an irresistible temptation. She could not wait any longer. Curiosity was killing her. Should she discuss this decision with Adam, her dear husband? Yes, but not till she received it. She wanted to be the first. Her perception of the situation, her imagination of what if, had run away with her senses, and she made her decision. Eve took the fruit and ate it. Surprised, she did not die. It tasted delicious, pleasant, exciting. Eating it fed her desire. It satisfied her craving. She felt it had filled her void. She had made the decision she believed best for her. She decided by herself to disobey God's law. If this is what it felt like to be like God, it felt good. What the creature had told her seemed correct, and God had been a liar. She gave the fruit to her husband, who was with her, and he ate. The creature tempted Eve. Eve tempted Adam. Adam also chose to obey the creature, not God, their creator. Adam knew full well the truth God had told him personally before Eve had been created. He foreknew the consequence. He didn't correct Eve's misconception. He did not run from the temptation, nor protect her from God's punishment, not even call on God for help. Instead, he decided for himself that he too would choose to question if God's law was right or wrong, and should he follow it or not. Their disobedience showed contempt for all the good things God had given them, their beautiful, peaceful garden home, abundant food at their fingertips. But they wanted more. They chose to follow the advice of the creature instead of Creator. They traded the truth about God for a lie. They had sinned, and yet they were still alive.